how to stop overthinking in less than 10 minutes. If you're someone who's constantly overthinking, indecision, procrastinating, your thoughts are slowing you down, then make sure to watch the video right to the end. I've got some step-by-step guides in that if you follow, you will overcome it. Now, before I break down the video, you know what to do. Smash the like button, hit the red subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Shout out to everyone in the Patreon who's getting coached by me. So let's get straight into it, man. How to overcome overthinking. So the first step is awareness. No matter what issue you have, whether that's drug addiction, whether that is, mindset, mental health, the first step to anything, to overcome anything, is awareness. When does it happen? When do you overthink? Is it when you're at work? Is it when you're at home? Is it when you're around your family? Is it when you're around a particular friend? There's always a point where the overthinking is at its worst. You might say it's the whole day, but there's always a point where it's at its worst. Maybe it's a particular person or environment. So you need to identify that first. You need to study yourself and identify, it's when I'm with this person, I'm overthinking. No, it's when I'm with my family, that's when I'm overthinking. So where does it start? If you don't know where it starts, then you don't know how to overcome it. So the moment you understand where it starts, you have to realize that the main thing you want to realize is that with overthinking, you can only control yourself. You must really, really understand this. Like if you're overthinking about the weather, like, it's going to rain tomorrow, I don't know what to do, you're realizing that it's just a wasteful thought, because what you can control, you control. What you can't, you can't. So if it's raining tomorrow, you're overthinking about raining, then you have to stop and think rationally. Like, can I control the weather? No. Can I control this person? No. Can I control the environment? No. If it's something that you can control, then go ahead and control it. Okay, I can control like me working out. I can control me doing this. So what you can control, do something about it. What you cannot control, you have to let go. Just like the weather, you cannot control if it's going to be sunny or rainy. So, okay, I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to, let go of that. You understand? Now, once you start to overthink and you find yourself thought after thought and you're drowning in your own thoughts and that, the first thing you need to do is to stop and breathe. Like breath. Breath is the key. Because the moment you stop and you focus on your breath, all the tension, all the thoughts will slow down with it. You understand? Because the way you breathe has an effect on the way you think and the way you feel. So, for example, if you're angry, for example, at someone, the way you're breathing, your breath is very shallow. You become very tense and that. Your blood pressure heightens because of the way you are breathing. You understand? So, when you stop and you simply take deep breaths in and out, it may sound very basic to you, it may sound funny even, but when you take deep breaths in and out, everything will slow right down. The tension, the force will come to a point where it's still. And that's when you can actually think like a rational being. So breathing is the key. Now, the next point you need to remember is that if it's a particular place or environment, the quickest thing to overcome your overthinking is to change environment. Let's say you're at home in your room overthinking. The energy in your room is just tense. The quickest way you can do that is go to a different room or even go outside. Because if you pay attention to yourself, you realize your thoughts are different depending if you're at school or work, or if you're at home, or if you're with a particular person, or if you're walking outside. Wherever you are, your thoughts are different. The thoughts that you have at work or school is different to the thoughts that you have when you're walking by yourself in nature. So if you find yourself overthinking in this environment, the energy is building up and that, then you simply change environment. You simply, walking outside is a huge thing you can do. Just going for a walk, your mind will clear. Going away from this person who you're with, who's maybe causing you to overthink, then change the environment and you see a change, your thoughts will change with it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important to be mindful that the energy that's building up in that environment, you can simply change it by changing the location. So always remember that. Once you find yourself, this is getting a bit too tense, or this environment is just holding me down, then boom, go outside, go to a different environment, go to a different person. Simple as that. Now, one of the biggest things you can do in order to stop overthinking is physical activity, bro. Because you have to realize that physical activity is beyond just like building muscle or just, for aesthetics and that. When you do physical, there's no way you can overthink or working out. There's no way, you can't be benching 100 kg, bro, and then thinking, what should I do? Oh, that person's gonna do this is gonna happen. No way. When you're pushing yourself and that, you're physically exerting yourself and that, or you're doing a bike ride, or you're doing a run, or you're pushing weights, there's no way you can think like overthink in that moment. There's no way. You have to focus on one thing at a time. So that's why physical activity is one of the best ways you can relieve your thought pattern. 100%. Like I said, you cannot do two things simultaneously. You cannot be overthinking what's pushing big weight. No way. You understand? You cannot be like thinking about what he or she's gonna do whilst you're sprinting, bro. Because the body is focusing on what's the most important, which is your survival. So physical activity, you must either go into the gym, you must start running, you must do some sort of physical activity. It's good for your physical, mental health, bro. So you must pick something, bro. Weightlifting, but I don't know, bro. Something that is gonna like force you to push yourself to the limit, increase your heart rate. The more often you do that, you realize that the more control and the more like relaxed your mindset is, the more relaxed the thoughts become. Physical activity is crucial. Pick something. You should be doing it anyway for your overall health, but that will make a huge difference in your thought pattern. So make sure to head and pick something. Now, the next point, we're talking about reading, meditation, podcast. Something, whatever you feed your mind is what your mind shall become. Like I was posted recently on my Patreon, shout out to everyone in the Patreon, about mindset, about the way you need to think. You know, for those who follow my Patreon, they already know. If you need more detailed version of what I'm saying right now, make sure to check out the Patreon where I break it down. Also, we got 1v1 consultations on there for those who want to speak to me directly and explain the issue. I'll be giving you exactly what to do. So, mindset, meditation, podcast, reading. Why did I say that? Because your thoughts come from what you consume. If you're on social media scrolling all day, you're watching the news, or you're around a negative friend or in a negative environment, you cannot consume all of that rubbish and think that your thought pattern will be okay. You need to consume positivity. Then you can have positive thinking. You understand? Think about it. If you're watching the news all day for 2-3 hours, you're watching the news. Oh, there's a bomb went off in Iraq. Oh, this prime minister is declaring war. Oh, 100,000 people died over there. Oh, the taxes are rising. Oh, all of these negative things, you're consuming it for a long period of time and then in the end you're overthinking. And then in the end your thoughts are negative. Of course, they're gonna be negative. You consume negativity. Just like if you drink poison, your body's gonna react. Like it's gonna think like, yo, what's going on? It's gonna react in an adverse way. If you eat something positive, fruit, orange and that, your body's gonna react in that way. Same with the mind. If you watch social media all day, news all day, talk to negative people who have negative thinking all day, then also you shall attract and you will also do the same. You see how the mind works. So how can you combat this? What's the antidote? You do the opposite. You read books about positivity. You listen to videos regarding motivation, mindset, etc. You understand? You do meditation, relaxing your mind and that. So feed your mind with something that's going to help it think positive. You shall take, like, everything that you consume you will become that. So positivity, if you want positive vibe, consume positivity through different forms. Now, you have to realize with the thoughts here, again, your thoughts are one thing, but when you verbalize them, then you give them power. So thinking negative, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get that job, or that's one thing. That's okay, that's actually natural. But the moment you start to tell people, yeah, I'm such a negative thinker, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get that job, yeah, I'm so stupid. The moment you start to project it out there, then you're amplifying what it is. A thought can just be a thought, but if you verbalize it, it becomes a tangible thing. You start to project into the universe, and then you shall attract it. If you tell everyone, oh, I got depression, yeah, I got depression, yeah, keep telling everyone that, and then the more you do that, they start to identify with the words in that, and then guess what? Then it'll be 10 times worse than just thinking the thought. A thought is just a thought at the end of the day, but the words have power. So be very mindful of the way you are speaking. Even if I'm not saying don't speak about what's going on in your head or negativity, anything negative, but be mindful of the more you speak about the negative, the more you shall attract and the more you actualize it. So that's not what we want for our life at the end of the day. So these are the steps right there that you can take in order to stop overthinking. If you apply all of these steps, even just one of these steps in that, you'll see a huge difference in your life. Now, if you want me to go further, if you want me to go in more depth, if you want me to understand your personal situation and that, again, if you go onto the Patreon, we've got 1v1 consultation on there. I can speak to you directly and I can give you an in-depth version. I'm going to be doing an in-depth version in my Patreon. more details, more points that I've mentioned already. So if you're interested in Stop Overthinking and progressing, becoming the best version of yourself, then check out the Patreon. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the red subscribe button, and leave